Hello again, barbarians. Welcome back to the Area Summit. Thank you so much for stopping by. And today I would like to take a look at what I believe to be the best fusion rifle currently in Season 15 for PvE and PvP. This fusion rifle doesn't abide by any rules. It does its own thing. It's, in my opinion, it's literally in its own category. It just utterly decimates your opponents. Literally in both categories, PvE and PvP. But before we get into talking about what roles you want on it, how it's acquired, and why I believe it's the best fusion this season, and hopefully beyond that, please make sure to drop a like on the video as it greatly helps me out. And if you have been liking the content, or even if you've been hating it, click that subscribe button, as that is greatly appreciated as I continue to pump out content like a machine. So, we are talking about the Cartesian coordinate. Now, this fusion rifle is required from a variety of different sources. Umbral engrams, you can get it from the gunsmith as well. But let's talk about the roles really quick. The first column, you want that bottom scope. I forget what it's called. I'll call it box. Bottom box. Looking over at column 2, you want liquid coils, which improves the impact of the fusion rifle. There are a couple other options there as well. Moving over to column 3, we've got feeding frenzy, under pressure, slide ways, I believe, slide shot, lead from gold, grave robber, and hip fire grip. Now, just lead from gold. Let's be real, that's just garbage. Grave robber, garbage. Feeding frenzy, honestly, garbage. Hip fire grip, maybe if that's your playstyle. I don't know whose it would be, but potentially. And really, the slide shot, that has some potential, given the slide nerf as well. But really, you want under pressure. That second one in column 3 is the best in slot for PvP. In PvE, perhaps you might want feeding frenzy. I'm just talking about PvP currently. Column 4, swashbuckler, high impact reserves, vorpal weapon, thresh, snapshot, and backup plan. The top choice here being high impact reserves, followed up in my opinion by a swashbuckler, and then no backup plan, not no backup plans. And that is the PvP god roll: under pressure, high impact reserves, or swashbuckler. Now looking at PvE, under pressure is still very good. Feeding frenzy also becomes a contender. You might be able to do slide shot if that fits your playstyle. And in column 4, really you're looking for Vorpal or Thresh. Swashbuckler is great, and in my opinion for this particular season, why I think it is the best fusion, you want Vorpal weapon. It's hands down the best in slot there for PvE, and that's mainly to do not only with just being increased damage against bosses. You can put a boss spec on this legendary fusion, which it is a solar energy fusion, by the way. But in addition to that, you also have particle deconstruction from this season's artifact, which, if you don't know, does increase damage for fusion rifles on multiple hits on the same target. So very, very strong, especially considering this is a legendary. So that's good. You can still use an exotic. This is a fusion, so it uses that perk. And it just so happens it just got a recent buff. If I had killed that hunter there, let's be real, that would have been just too much overall. That would have been nuts. But I think the easiest way to get this, depending on how much you play, is going to be just playing the game and focusing your Umbral engrams. I think you can focus them to get the fusion from past seasons. I personally got it just from turning in gunsmith materials. But I do know you can also get it from like shacks specifically. Crucible engrams. I'm not sure about the Vanguard. Drop in the comments below if you can get it from the Vanguard. That guy wasn't too happy. He's dropping the bag. But just from leveling up the Crucible, you will get additional engrams, which you can then have a chance to drop one of these as well. Now, the nice thing is the perk pool for the weapon is so small that pretty good chance you're going to get something decent. And I doubt you'll have one of these sitting around in your vault, because this weapon really has just been garbage forever. So it really was with this recent buff that this weapon kind of came out of nowhere, and people are like, oh, okay, this This gun's top tier now, and it's kind of not even close. Like, this is the best fusion this season, rapid fire frames. Now, I personally am curious if you guys found it to be true otherwise, but this was the only rapid fire frame in my vault, and I've had fusions from like tons of different raids, tons of different events. I just couldn't find another one. Um, so I'm not sure why. I don't know if there is another one in this archetype. I'd be curious. Feel free to let me know below. But yeah, definitely get your hands on one. It's great to pair with. You can really pair this with whatever you want. A scout for a long range map, or a pulse rifle in that primary slot, or I'm using a hand cannon here just on a smaller map. Yeah, and the handling on it also feels incredible. It's just, yeah, all around 10 out of 10 this season. Get your hands on one, it will blow you away. That's all I have for this video. I really just wanted to go over this new old fusion. New just because of the buff it received. Highly recommend you checking it out. You'll feel insanely strong in the Crucible with it. And PvE, I will say, this is just an example of how strong it is. I have killed an Overload champion with 2 shots of this thing without stunning it. Easily. You just 2 burst Overload champions to death. And because it's a fusion, I don't know if the burst does something to them, but it doesn't stagger them, but it staggers them. Give it a try in PvE. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, Barbarians. Peace.